Clean. Well, Jeanette Miller is from Geoffrey Miller Solicitors and president of the Association of Motor Offence Lawyers. Hello to you, Jeanette.
Hi, Chris.
Interesting how some of our listeners were so honest there. That there seems to be a lot of people who've been guilty of it at some point or another.
Yeah, I think it is very common. I think we're living in an age where we are sort of taught to be available all of the time, and to switch your phone off whilst on a long journey is almost an abhorrent suggestion for many people. I'm not saying it's right to use your phone, but I think there are still a huge proportion of the nation's drivers still sending the odd text, taking the odd call whilst not on a hands-free device. I'm not sure I agree with the suggestion that there should be an automatic ban, but I do think the penalty for mobile phone use is perhaps not in keeping with the dangers that it presents. You mentioned 5 points. It's actually 3 points that you get for mobile phone.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah. So 3 points, it's comparable to a low-level speeding offence, and in that respect, it does potentially give the wrong impression to drivers that it's not that serious. Whereas actually, there was some research undertaken recently which suggested that your reaction times would be reduced significantly by sending a text whilst driving. They did a test on people that drunk up to the legal limit, and the results were that their reaction times were reduced by 12%. And then they did the same tests on people that were texting whilst driving, and their reaction times were reduced by 35%. So, by analogy, you could argue that if you're going to be using your phone and texting whilst driving, it's comparable to somebody 3 times the drink drive limit. And there aren't many.
So why don't you agree with brake then? Why don't you think there should be a ban? Because there is for drink driving.
I think there is still a big problem with not understanding certain aspects of the offence. You can be prosecuted and receive the penalty if you're making a call whilst you're stuck in a traffic jam and you're stationary. If your engine's on, you're still committing the offence. And other people who have gone out and actually tried to be compliant with the law and bought a hands-free kit could still be caught and be prosecuted if the device that they've used requires them to touch it to send or receive this.
So when you're... Sorry to interrupt, Jeanette, because this is quite important, because there are some misconceptions, aren't there?
Absolutely,
So, okay, so texting on your phone, can't do it, it's illegal.
No, absolutely not.
Obviously, talking on your phone, can't do it, it's illegal. Hands-free, obviously... That's fine because you're not actually making a call. But if you're still having to touch your phone, is that illegal?
Yeah, it's not truly hands-free then. So if you're having to take your hands off your steering wheel and touch the device to make or receive the call, and there are quite a lot out there where you buy them. It's not the integrated system, it's one you purchase and put into your car. That could still be illegal, and you could still be in trouble.
And very briefly, because I do want to speak to Martin Howard, who got waiting on the line from break, but also that must include then having the mobile phone on your lap with a headphone piece in your ear?
That's not lawful. And sat-nav devices, if you're going to use a smartphone as a sat-nav device, you could also end up in serious problems.